You learn from your audience feedback.
Initially, for audience feedback, we created a questionnaire so that we could establish what it was our target audience wanted to see in a typical horror trailer. We handed this out to a selection of our target audience. We saw that many that filled it out ranged from around 15 to 24, which we thought was good and useful when classifying our trailer. Our magazine poster also got great audience feedback. Many, when looking at the poster, liked the way that we used negatives and thought that the composition of our shots worked well together. Our magazine created attention by the way in which we used our typography. Our target audience thought that it was eye-catching and knew instantly that they were interviewing a star from a horror film. Lastly, they liked the way that we kept our title in our magazine simple, as they noticed that each week it would be the same, therefore it could not look like a horror theme. Although had to tie in with everything around which it did, we also looked at a range of films with similar storyline to ours, using the Pearl and Dean website to establish what types of people, age, class and gender would be most interested in this type of film. We discovered that the typical target audience for Reunion would be 15 to 24-year-olds of both genders. When asked what have we learnt from audience feedback, after watching our finalised trailer, the majority of our audience were impressed. I feel that we have learned what conventions must be in place in our trailer to wow and attract the audience. For example, you need quick, rapid-paced shots to intrigue them and make them eager for more. That is why at the end of our trailer we have included "coming soon," and after a short pause, an effective shot of the victim being violently grabbed. This affected many people who watched our trailer and truly gripped their attention.
How did you use new media technologies in the construction and research and planning and evaluation stages?
The construction of the trailer entailed the majority use of new media technology. This included the use of Final Cut Pro for the main construction of the trailer itself. Once the footage had been filmed, we had to transfer it from the camera onto the computer and execute it using Final Cut Pro. When using it seemed a bit tricky at first, but after consistent use it became easier to manage, also from our AS use of it. We put flashes in between shots using the dip to colour effect, changing the colour to white. We felt that this was effective as it made the shots look even quicker and made people want to come closer to the screen. We also used it to change the contrast and colour on some of the shots so that they were all near enough black and white and to make them look even more darker. We did this as we felt that the shots needed to be dark for a horror and that they must be around the same level. We did not want to include some colour and some not, as we felt that this would confuse the audience on what time it was. Photoshop was used for the poster and magazine front cover. Again, this was hard to become familiar with, considering we had never previously used it. But with consistent use and help from fellow workers, we got used to it eventually. We used various effects used in Photoshop. I feel that the most effective was the way in which we used the background on our poster. This is because we put paint on paper and scanned it in to create a worn-down effect. We enhanced this by making 3 different layers on top of each other and changing the colour of each to ash, grey and brown. This I feel gave a good, solid and eerie background to work on for our poster. I feel that the negative effect also used on the images of them being tortured is effective as it shows the contrast and enhances their facial expressions, making it even more horrific. Overall, we were very pleased from the outcome of our poster and magazine by using Photoshop and felt that if any changes were to be made it would be the image on the magazine front cover, only because we felt towards the end an action shot of her from the film may have been more effective and appealing, although we did recognise that the magazine front covers do not always use an image from the film. GarageBand was used for the construction of our music for the trailer. We had to use this because of copyright issues, meaning we could not use music from other sources such as YouTube. We found this difficult at first, but playing around with it and seeking help from teachers eventually managed to create a soundtrack for our trailer. We used many templates from GarageBand and put them on top of each other. We then mixed up some of the notes to make them our own and also changed the tempo at times and put voiceovers from the footage. I feel that it was effective as we got the music to get faster as the shots got faster, and we felt that the music truly fitted the footage once we had aligned it up and made sure that each bit fitted each clip. When we had to film, we found it strange getting used to the camera and the tripod again after not using it for a while. However, this was not long lasted as we pretty much got the hang of it straight away. Fortunately, in our group of 3, we all held other strengths in areas that others didn't. For example, one of us knew that they were better at filming and another better at editing. In the planning and research for our trailer, we used various technologies. For instance, we used Pages to print out storyboard templates and to create a script, which was very handy as it showed us how they should be laid out and what should be included. We also used a program on the Macs called Inspiration, which helped us to create mind maps to illustrate what a horror trailer is and the difference between a teaser and a theatrical trailer. We felt that this was effective as it made our blog more creative and eye-appealing, and was an easier way to explain what they were. We decided to make it even more creative by creating a PowerPoint presentation on our props, locations and actors. This, I felt, made it more interesting to an audience. However, Blogger did not accept these files, therefore we had to improvise and screen grab each page in order to make it an image to put onto the blog, so that it would present itself as a PowerPoint presentation. When analysing horror trailers, we used links so that the reader could see what we were seeing, and we also used images from the film on our blog to create a visual effect, again to make our blog more presentable. We used spider diagrams to present all our ideas, and graphs used on Excel to show the results of our questionnaire sent out to establish our target audience and what they were looking for. We feel that overall we have used numerous amounts of techniques and more to make our blog presentable and exciting to an audience, and gained much experience by doing so. Lastly, in our evaluating stage, we have used visuals before of our poster and magazine, which were produced on Photoshop so that we wrote about it and so that people knew what we meant. We also decided to evaluate our poster and magazine separately, and have talked about aspects in it in this overall evaluation. This is because we wanted people to be able to look at it clearly before and read it so that they could scroll up to our work. We used a voiceover and our title reunion to create this evaluation, as we wanted to make it more personal and show our creativity. We also have included a write-up of it below in case of any complications or if we could not be heard.